The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, and peace and blessings to you. It's a great day. It's a blessed day. And if you don't know anything else on this day, know that you deserve to be blessed. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Hey. Look, let me tell y'all, I was in here grooving, doing my thing, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, the show started. Not that I don't want y'all to be here, but I want y'all to be here. But yeah, the show has begun. Good evening. It's a Monday. It's a great Monday. It's a lovely Monday. And I welcome you all to be with me. Come be with me. Okay, come be with me. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it is a good Monday night. It's a great Monday night. We got a nice little cool air blowing in the city of Houston over here in this old hot Texas. So I want y'all to sit back and relax. If you got a little breeze coming through, some of y'all say y'all can turn y'all air condition off. Now I don't know about that, but I understand. So I just want to say to you all, welcome. Tonight we're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, and then also that something that we have to keep in the forefront, and that's knowing your status. We're going to talk about knowing your status tonight because people seem to think that knowing your status is a non-factor, right? For me, it is a factor. And I hope and I pray after we have this conversation that more people will look at knowing their status, okay? So how was your weekend? I'm going to tell you, my weekend was great. I want to give a shout out to my village and my tribe and my gang for loving on me. On Saturday, an old dear friend of mine, Sean, fixed dinner. We chopped it up. We chatted. We talked about a little bit of everything, and it was wonderful. We had steak and potatoes and corn, and then we had mango moscato. And oh, when I tell you. So look, tonight I can't sip. I got a frozen daiquiri here, and I can't sip. But that's okay. I'm here. But so we're going to talk about that. I want to give a shout out to my other side of my village and my tribe and my gang. They came together. Franklin, Ron, Shania, Craig came together, and we had dinner yesterday, and it was great. It was wonderful. And sometimes you think to yourself that you don't need these things, right? And I want to give them their flowers while they're here, because sometimes you are good with people, that y'all see each other and stuff like that, but you really don't have that connection. Like COVID and monkeypox and all this stuff that happened, and you really don't have that connection like you used to have it before the pandemic, right? So yesterday was wonderful. Saturday was great. I also had dinner with the doctor on last Thursday, I believe. I think it was Thursday or Wednesday. And I had dinner with the doctor, which was hosted by the Normal Anomaly. And I want to say shout out to them. It was with Gilead, and they were talking about Biktarvy and prep and all that stuff like that. So I want to give a shout out to all of those people who are out there making a difference, whether you're making it a difference in the world, in your community, in your neighborhood, in your family. I want to give a shout out to y'all, because those people are my neighborhood. Those people are my community. Those people are my family. Those people are my village, my gang, and my tribe. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to say thank you to them for taking out a moment and giving something to Titan that Titan probably didn't know that he needed in that moment. But the universe knew, God knew that I needed that. So that's why they came on out like that. That's what I believe. And that's so I'm giving them their flowers. Y'all have y'all flowers. Have your flowers. Yes. I want to thank you for being my friend. I want to thank you. Okay. Anyways, y'all, look. So I am a little bit on a high from the weekend. So I may be just a little bit, hey, I don't care what it is. We're going to do what we're going to do. And that's how we're going to do it. Why? Because it's my experience. And y'all, welcome to the Titan Capri Experience. Y'all caught that? Yeah, got that. Anyways, so let's go ahead and let's get into knowing your status. We're going to start with, did you know? Did you know? So knowing your status, ladies and gentlemen, empowers you to make informed decisions. Now, I want to say that to you because I want you to understand where we're at, right? People say, "Oh, we're Titan. It's just taking a test." I mean, it's really just, you know your status. Yes, know your status. I knowing my status has allowed me to be present in my status. It has allowed me to be present. Hey, it has allowed me, hey, moms, that's my mom, dad. That's my mom, dad. Okay, come on. They purple. Yes, you got your flowers. Yes. So knowing my status has empowered me to make decisions that I'm knowledgeable of, right? Because here's the thing. We can say that I don't need to know my status and things like that, but why wouldn't you need to know your status? You understand what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you need to know your status? Like, before I knew my status, I really didn't do a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like I was out there, doing things, closing my eyes and letting everything just happen. You know what, y'all? This is why I like the Titan Capri Experience, because I need to be just straightforward with you all. Did you know that by not knowing your status, you don't know what's going on with your body, with your life, the journey that you're on, the purpose that you're doing? Look, this is not all about just sex, right? This is about knowing your status. And so I argued before that I didn't need to know my status because I looked good, I felt good, I didn't need to do none of that. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. You need to know your status. So you need to know where you're at in your status and on this journey. And I'm going to talk to you tonight about knowing your status, because I'm going to talk to you like it's a fifth grade education and I'm only holding up 4 fingers. You feel what I'm saying? That's how we're going to talk tonight. We're going to talk real slow and intentional about what knowing your status does. Why do you think it's important to know your status? Because your status empowers you. Your status gives you the power and position. Okay, some of y'all like certain positions. I don't point the finger, nothing that. You have your position, but know your status. Know your status so you can be in that position. Understand what your status is so you know what's going on. You feel me? Understand that. And then I said earlier that I just closed my eyes and went with the flow. And a lot of us most of us will do that. Oh, he's fine. Oh, she looks good. We don't need to know statuses. If we don't speak about it, then it can't be real. Knowing your status is important. I don't think there's nothing sexier than knowing your status. Did you know that knowing your status empowers you? Did you know that? And if you didn't know it, then now you know. It empowers you to make informed decisions. And I'm not telling you that you can't get your freak on. I'm not telling you you can't do what you need to do. What I'm saying is, do you know your status? Because before I didn't know my status. I didn't understand why I needed to know my status. I wasn't even taking HIV tests back then. I was worried about everything else. You know what I mean? But now you know your status so that you can make informed decisions, so that you can go here, go there, do whatever it is you want to do. So you can know how powerful you truly are by knowing your status. Because I know what's going on, right? And I'm not saying that you got to do, what they tell you, this and that. No, you handle your own business, but know your status. Know where you're at. And if you are diagnosed with HIV, know your status with your HIV. Know if you're undetectable. Know where you're at. Know what's going on. Now, y'all, I'm not finna use no big words tonight. I'm not finna tell you blah, 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 supercalifragilistic. No. What I'm gonna tell you. So tonight, I want you to take that little magnifying glass away from the screen for looking for the big words, because we're not gonna have them tonight. Tonight, we're gonna talk straight up. Like I said, 5th grade education, only holding up 4 fingers. That's how we're gonna talk tonight. We're gonna talk about it, right? Yes, I want to bump. Yes, I want to do. But do I know my status? Is my status important? Yes, your status is important. You should know your status. You should know where you're at. Right? So did you know that your status empowers you? Empowers you to make informed decisions. And I took that quote because think about it. Knowing my status, I can say yes, no, maybe so, up, down, all around. I can tell you what's going on with me because I know my status. You feel me? You feel me? So that's what I wanted to talk about with Did You Know today. Knowing your status empowers you. It gives you power. It gives you power. Right? I didn't say don't do it. I didn't say don't. Yeah, I didn't say not to. I just say know your status. Know your status. All right, y'all, we're going to move right on into the thought because it's going to be a little heavy toward the end of this, but we're going to move on into this thought. Okay? So I'm going to stay with the program. Your status is important. Your status is important. And I want you to understand where I'm at when I say your status is important. Because even if you're having sex, planning to have sex, don't know if you're going to have sex, whatever the case may be, knowing your status is important, right? There are things that is happening. We got COVID, we got monkeypox, we got STIs, we got all of these things going around. And yes, we have HIV. And so knowing your status, knowing where you're at, knowing that you are making informed decisions and you understand that your status is important. I had somebody tell me, and y'all know I like a good story, right? This person said to me, Titan, I look good. I'm fit. I'm physically fit. Why I need to know my status? And my question to them was, why not? Why not? If it's that easy for you to announce that you are good, you look good, you're physically fit, you're all of these things, how easy would it be for you just to acknowledge that you are HIV negative or HIV positive, or you have an STI, you don't have an STI, or you don't know your status? Know your status. And so I'm talking to you all today from a point of somebody who didn't know their status and had to understand the importance of knowing their status. So I'm gonna back up just a little bit, because after I was diagnosed with AIDS, I thought that I was damaged goods. So I didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't want to rub up, skeet, lee. I didn't want to do nothing with nobody because I felt as if, as people had told me, that I was tainted. I was carrying the package. You know, I had the gift that kept on giving. And y'all, what did we say tonight? What did we say? I'm going to talk to you, right? We're going to have a conversation. You're in Titan's house, right? You're in Titan's room, and we're going to have a conversation. This is the experience. This is real, right? And so this person told me this, and I said, "But I don't. What do I do? What do I do?" I started my treatment And then I didn't want to take my medication. I didn't want to do it because the medication came with stigma and hurt and shame and all of these things. So I didn't want to know my status. I didn't, because I felt like my status was going to tell me something that I already knew, because it did in all honesty. But I stopped taking my medication for about a year. And y'all, look, I'm just going to be real. I'm thinking I'm just going to let nature take its course. I'm not messing with nobody. I don't need to know a status. I don't need to know nothing. I don't need to go to the doctor. I don't need to do any of that. But I did. I needed to know my status. I needed to know where I was. I needed to know how I maneuver in and out of this place called life. I need to know on my journey if I met somebody, if I wanted somebody, if I felt an attraction or what. And what do I do? And most people just told me, don't worry about it. Just use a condom. That's not knowing my status. Using a condom is not knowing my status. I need to know where I'm at. I need to know so I can make these decisions in my mind and in my spirit. Am I good? Because I'm telling you, for almost a year, I didn't mess with nobody, talk to nobody. I didn't even, and y'all, this may sound crazy, but again, 5th grade education, 4 fingers. I did not even want to be around somebody for the fact or the possibility or the inkling that I might get a little heated. I might want to cuddle. I might want to spoon. I might want to, you know what I mean? And I couldn't do that. But it was that stigma in my head that was telling me that you don't need to do this and you don't need to do that. Well, thank God that I got the understanding after talking to some people and going to a couple of places and getting the understanding that knowing my status is a powerful thing. Okay. Now, even now that we know the status, now we have U equals U. Undetectable equal untransmittable. I'm going to say that one more time. Undetectable equals untransmittable, meaning that I cannot detect the virus in your blood. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, I cannot transmit the virus to anybody else because it's undetectable. Again, Raul, remember what I said. Okay. It's undetectable, meaning that you can't detect the virus in my blood, right? It's so low that you can't detect it. So in turn, I can be able to have a unstigmatized relationship with somebody, or I can have sex with someone, or I can have I heard somebody say this the other day, super happy fun time. I don't even know what that is, but I was like, but I can do that because I know my status. I know where I'm at. U equals U. And I'm going to tell you all something, and I'm just being real tonight. Even though U equals U, when it came out, I was like, oh, okay. But I still wasn't messing with nobody. I wasn't finna fool with nobody. I wasn't finna, because I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't want to stay in the dark. You understand what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying to you tonight is know your status. So you don't have to sit here and figure that you are a leper, or you are somebody that's tainted or ugly or nasty because you have this, and you go and sit over here and deprive yourself of having fun and doing the things that you love. Now, again, right? You are grown. This is your decision. This is what you do. But the way that you're able to do that and maneuver and roll through is take that weight off your shoulders. Know your status. Know your status. When I talk to my clients, when I talk to people and they were saying, well, Titan, what do I do? Go get tested. But Titan, I ain't having sex. Go get tested. But Titan, it's been a whole year. Go get tested. Because you can't do what you need to do for yourself until you know for sure where you're at. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not finna condemn you for doing whatever it is that you do, because your life is your life. But what I am saying is that if you're going to walk in and out, maneuver around, jump up and down, flip and flop and tip and tip and do all this kind of stuff, know your status. Know your status. I'm not going to ever tell you to stop, because what you love is what you love, what you like is what you like. And if that's how you want to get down, you get down like that, like 4 flat tires, and you're not going nowhere. I get it. But know your status. Know your status. You don't have to be ostracized because you know your status. You don't have to be ridiculed because you know your status. You don't have to be ashamed of knowing your status. Know your status. Someone told me the other day, they said, well, Titan, my status was undetectable last year. And I said, have you been tested since last year? You know what I mean? Oh, no, I'm good. I'm undetectable. Last year when? Well, it really doesn't matter, because we're in September. Oh, excuse me. We're in October right now. So you saying last year, that could be as far back as December, right? We're in October. We're in the 10th month in a year, and you don't know your status from last year. And we can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. We can't do that. We can't roll the dice and play the game like that. Know your status. If you want to do whatever it is you want to do, again, I don't discriminate. Know your status. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That part right there. Know your status. Why is it so hard for you to know your status if you can know everything else and you can do everything else? Why is it so hard for you to know your status? And I get stigma, and I get that's how the world rolls and how things happen. I get that. I get that. I'm not saying that I don't get it, right? And I know it takes some people some people longer than others. I know that sometimes people say, oh, with Titan, I'm going to work my way up. Okay, just do that. Because what I want you to do, I want you to be able to go into whatever the situation is, or whatever the playtime is, or whatever the sex time, or the feeling, or the itch, or the shooting your shot. I want you to go into it knowing where you at. Oh, I'm here. I'm here. This is my status. This is where I'm at, and I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's play. You know what I'm saying? Let's slip and slide. You know what I mean? Like, come on. We're grown. We're adults. Why am I ashamed of knowing my status? And if my status is HIV positive, I still need to know my status. You're looking at someone that gets tested regularly. Right? I get my blood drawn. We look and see what my T cell count is and what my viral load is. We make sure that I am doing what I need to do in order for me to maneuver through this life of mine. Right? But I can't look at someone over here and say, oh, you know what I mean? I can't look at someone over here and say, oh, because they are not me. They are not me. Right? What I need to do is do what Titan needs to do for Titan. And I'm saying this, I don't know who this is for tonight, whoever this is right here. This is for you. Know your status. Those days of just going in and letting it be dark and keeping the lights off and all this those days are done. Know your status. And I'm going to tell it to you just like that. We can't know where to go and what to do. We can't know how to treat you if we don't know your status. You understand what I'm saying? So somebody said to me, I know it's a lot of somebody says, but somebody said to me, Titan, well, you can just go ahead on and treat me here, like that. We can get you started, right? But we don't know your status. We don't know where you're at in your diagnosis. You understand what I'm saying? Or we don't know where you're at outside of being diagnosed. So my question is, do you know your status? When was the last time you were tested? All right, let's go ahead and get tested and let's make sure, right? And then we can draw that blood and we can make sure that you're good and we can go that route, right? But don't tell me that you're good. Don't tell me that everything is okay and you have not had the chance, or you figure that you don't want to be tested, or you figure that there's no need to be tested because you're not doing this and you're not doing that. You don't know what's going on in your body if you don't know your status. You don't know what's happening if you don't know your status. All of this that came, and I'm strong willed about knowing your status already because I'm HIV positive 17 years and I have to know my status. For me, I must know my status, and also for my doctors. You know what I'm saying? However, but this is mainly for me. Yes, the doctors want to follow up and make sure that we're good, make sure the medication is doing what it's supposed to do. But knowing your status is important because you need to know where you're at so you can maneuver and do what you need to do. Y'all with me? So I might be saying it again and again. I might say it 3 times over. I might be going, but know your status. Knowing your status is important. Knowing your status is important. Whenever you choose to do whatever it is that you're going to do in life, right? Have sex, skeet, lee, beep, beep. Know your status. Know your status. Right? Knowing your status in turn will turn it around so that you can be informed about the decisions that you're going to make when it comes to this. You get me? So I may be sitting here saying to you that knowing your status is this and that, and you're saying, Titan, you didn't say this 5 times already. But I didn't know how important knowing my status was before I knew my status. Does that make sense? I didn't know how important it was. I really did not. And I'm being transparent with you all tonight, right? I'm being transparent. And somebody said, well, Titan, this is just a little bit much. We're not using big words. We're not going all around. What I'm going to tell you tonight is it's status 101, right? Know your status. Get tested, right? Normally, your doctor is going to put you on a schedule every 3 months or so. Get tested. Right? Some people will do it every 2 months. Some people will do it like after you didn't went out and had a good old weekend or a vacation. You want to come back and get tested because you don't know what's going on. And it's nothing wrong with that. It is nothing wrong with that. You with me? Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Y'all still with me? Come on now. Y'all stay with me because I'm telling you. Did you catch that sip? Look, y'all. Know your status. That's all I can say to you is know your status. Because whatever you do and however you do it, the status is around that. I want to go into whatever it is that I'm going to do, knowing that I'm good. And when I say I'm good, knowing that I have the knowledge, knowing I have the understanding, knowing that I have the tools to function in whatever it is that I'm about to do. Knowing that I have it. Knowing that I have it. I mean, come on. So y'all talk to me. Y'all give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, put stuff down into the comments and let's talk about it. Do you know your status? How important is your status to you? Why is your status important to you? Most people will tell you, I don't need to know my status. I'm good. That's what I hear all the time. I'm good. I kind of like the, I'm good type thing, but you do need to know your status. You do need to know your status. So I want to say to you all tonight, while we're talking about this and we're having this conversation, and I'm not trying to beat it in you and tell you over and over and over again to know your status. But what I've found is that when I talk with individuals, people will say to me, Titan, oh, I didn't understand what they said. I didn't understand this over here. Why is this? And I said, okay, well, let me just break it down. You need to know your status. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to sugarcoat it. I don't have to put 15-letter words around it. I don't have to tell you that it's going to be this and this. What I need to tell you is how important it is and how intricate and how it affects you, right? Affect and effect you in a way that you didn't really know because you don't think you need it. You don't think you need to know it. You know what I mean? You don't think that, oh, well, Titan, I don't need that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Know your status. Know your status. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave y'all for just a moment here, and I want you to know your status. But while we're on this commercial break, while we are paying some bills, right, I want you to think about, when was the last time that you've been tested? When was the last time that you checked up on your status? When was the last time do you know your status? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. Kwame, come on and roll that beautiful bean footage, and y'all, we'll be right back. Know your status. Yes, we back. Hey, everybody. I missed y'all. Y'all caught those commercials? Y'all saw that? Did you see it? Did you catch it? We're doing some things over here. We're doing some things. Y'all better come check us out. Come check us out. Y'all go on over to uh, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and y'all click that notification button. Blink. Y'all come over and check us out. Y'all come over and check us out. We're going to keep on moving tonight. We're going to go right on into You Better. You better. You better. So remember that I told you that You Better came out of, kind of like a little something like, you better do it. You better know it. So I want you to be sexy in knowing your status, right? Think about it. You walk into a room, you maneuvering through that room. You got your little shoulder action going on. You got a sway in your back. You stepping like a gazelle. You stepping. Why? Because I know. I know my status. I know where I'm at. So any of you come talking to me about whatever it is you want to talk about, I'm good. I'm already there. Let's talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's be adults about it. And let's know what it is. You know what I'm saying? If we got to go over here, we got to go over there, up or under, whatever it is, I already know. I'm striding through here because I'm good. I know my status. I know. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that nobody that doesn't know their status is not good. But what this does is this opens up the possibility of conversation. This opens up a dialogue to say, this is where I'm at, right? And so what I hear a lot is that, oh, well, that's going to run them off. That's going to make them not want to do or be or whatever have you. And I don't know that that's the truth and point, because I think it's sexy for you to talk to me about your status, right? That's you telling me I know where I'm at. I'm here. I'm in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you walk up to somebody in the club and be like, oh, my status is, you know what I mean? But you are able to have a conversation. You are able to have dialogue. There's no stigma surrounding it because you're able to be in that moment and do what you need to do. Y'all with me? And I think sometimes we don't understand that. We don't get it. Be sexy in knowing your status. Be sexy in knowing your status. You better. If you can spend all that time getting ready, putting it on, making sure you smell good, making sure when the light hits you in the right way that you boom, 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 boom. If you can spend all that time and do that and know your status, come on. Come on. Come on. I had someone tell me one time that they didn't want to know their status because their partner said that everything was okay. There's no reason for them to go and get tested because the partner said they were okay. So my question to this person was, how are you? Are you okay with that? You with me? What is it going to do for you to know your status? Is it going to harm you? Is it going to hurt you? Like, why wouldn't your partner want you to know your status? Especially if this is a conversation that y'all are having and y'all are trying to, work it out, work around it, blah, blah. Right? Be sexy in knowing your status. Be sexy in knowing your status. So I'm going to move on to the final thought because I'm going to encompass a lot in that, right? So we're going to move on to this final thought. Baby, we moving tonight. When I tell you we moving. But the final thought is going to encompass quite a bit, right? And so I want you to know what the CDC says about knowing your status, or some demographics about who gets tested or needs to be tested, right? And so here's the thing. Everybody needs to be tested. That's all the way across the board. Because the only way that you're going to know if you are HIV positive, if you have an STI or anything like that, is to get tested. And let's be real, right? There's Hep C, there's gonorrhea, there's chlamydia, there's syphilis, there's HIV, there's all these other things, right, that you can get tested for. But let's really think about it, right? So the CDC recommends that everyone between the ages of 13 and 64 get tested for HIV at least once. At least once. Now let's think about what we're saying here. The CDC says everyone between the ages of 13 and 64. Now, why would the CDC say 13 if it was not something going on, right? If it was not something that was happening. And it says 13 to 64. Do you see how big of a gap that is? At least once. You should be tested at least once. Because we know how things happen. And most of the time, people don't want to get tested because here we are. So it states here, and it says people with certain risk factors should get tested more often. Right? So let me just give you a little bit of what those risk factors are, with certain risk factors. You're a man who's has had sex with another man. This is what the CDC is saying. And so I'm saying this tonight to you all because I'm not saying that the CDC is wrong, but sometimes this type of information is kind of in your face. And you don't know what to do with it because it seems like it's just pointing the finger and telling you. So I want to break it down. You can go to cdc.gov and get all this information that I'm talking about tonight. But number one, those other risk factors, right? So people with certain risk factors should get tested more often. You should get tested at least once a year. If you are a man who has had sex with another man, you've had anal or vaginal sex with someone who has HIV, you had more than one sex partner since your last HIV test, you've shared needles, syringes, or other drug injection equipment, right? You've exchanged sex for drugs or money. You've been diagnosed with or treated for another sexually transmitted infection. You've been diagnosed with or treated for hepatitis or tuberculosis. And you've had sex with someone who has done anything listed above or with someone whose sexual history you don't know. Now, did y'all just hit all of what I just said? So the CDC is saying, right? People with certain risk factors should get tested more often. You should get tested at least once a year if all of what I just said. Isn't that like everybody? Because the last one says you've had sex with someone who has done anything listed above or with someone whose sexual history you don't know. Everybody that you get with, you're not going to know their sexual history. So that encompasses everybody. You meet somebody out at the club or at the park or at church or, wherever you're at. You know what I mean? You don't know their sexual history. So you mean to tell me that the CDC is telling you to do all of this, but they listed all of this, but this encompasses everybody. Know your status. Know your status. My final thought to you tonight is know your status. Because if I'm gonna go over this one more time, right? Because it blew me away that all of these things are certain risk factors, right? So number one, I'm just gonna go to the last one, which should have been number one. You've had sex with someone who has done any of these things, right? Listed above, or with someone whose sexual history you don't know. That's everybody out there. I see somebody walk past me and I feel the heat, and that's what it is. Or I feel like I want to, that's I don't know their sexual history. I don't know their past. I don't know any of these things. You with me? So what do? I know my status. You with me? I know my status. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about that number one more time. Kwame, can you put that up for me one more time? The CDC says that they recommend that everyone between the ages of 13 and 64 get tested for HIV at least once. That 13 is a little alarming, right? Because you think in your mind, a 13-year-old child, male or female, right? It doesn't matter. 13 years old should get tested for HIV. But that says something, right? That says something. That says that there are things out there that are going on that you don't know. And remember, the last one said that you don't know your partner's sexual history. Then 64, right, is a little older, because for whatever reason, some people think you get over the age of 50 and all of a sudden sex is a non-factor, right? But know your status. Even if you grandpa or grandma, grandpa, great aunt, great uncle, whoever and whatever, get tested. Get tested and know your status. And know your status. What I want you to take away from this slide that I have up, or this picture, this graphic, that I have up, that the CDC recommends everyone between the ages of 13 and 64. Everyone. Because as the last quote stated here, you will not know the sexual history of your partner. You won't know it. You won't know it. And especially if you hooking or they shooting a shot and y'all want to roll out to the parking lot, you know what I'm saying? And do what you do or make it happen, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. I don't judge. But that alarmed me when I read the last one. It said, if you don't know the sexual history of the person that you're with, 9 times out of 10, you don't know your own sexual history like that. You feel me? So tonight, I wanted to come to you all because I have been getting this. I don't want to be tested. I don't feel that I need to be tested. I don't think that I need to have an HIV test. I don't think I should be tested for STIs, right? Again, I'm not knocking what you're doing. But if you're going to be on this journey of life and love, if you're going to be on this journey of get it in and do what I'm going to do, if you're going to be on this journey of just living, period, know your status. Know your status. They told me that I was the unconventional advocate. And I said, I'm advocating for you. I'm advocating for the fact that we want to be in this. We want to do what we do. You know what? We don't want all that other stress and stuff up here. But I can't be that. I can't do that if I don't know my status. Not for you, for me. So I can make informed decisions. So I can be there. So I can fully be in the moment. So I can be sex positive. So I can stand in and say, what? But I can't do that if I don't know my status. I can't do that if I'm sitting here saying that I don't want to get tested, because then it makes it real. So again, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, my final thought is know your status. Know your status. I hear people all the time, I'm good. I don't need no test. They can go and test, but I don't need no test. What are we doing? What are we doing? And we got to get rid of this stigma about being tested. We got to get rid of this stigma, because that's a way for you to know your status. People do not want to go in and know their status or get tested because of the stigma. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't eradicate all the stigma, but I can eradicate the stigma that's around where I'm doing my work and my job and my own status. You feel me? But what I don't want you to do, and this is the unconventional advocate talking, I don't want you to think that it's going to go away. I don't want you to think that just because you look good, or you physically fit, or you in the gym pumping weights, or you're doing all of this good stuff, that you don't need to know your status. You feel me? I don't want you to think just because you only have one partner and you've had one partner, right, for a good amount of time, that you don't need to know your status. And then I don't want you to think that once you're diagnosed with something, or once you become reactive with something, you still don't need to know your status. It should be an ongoing thing. 13 to 64. Everyone in that age bracket. I'm just going to say everybody, period. Everybody, period. Okay? Know your status. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you all. I didn't want no big words. I didn't want us to be out here. I wanted to be plain and simple. And plain and simple of the show tonight is know your status. That's it. That's it. That's all I can say to you, because sometimes knowing your status is the start, is the beginning of you stepping into who you are and what you are. Being sexy and knowing where you're at. Knowing that on this journey, you got it, right? You got it because you know your status. I'm not going to second guess. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stress myself out over something because I don't know it. I'm going to know it, and I'm going to be good. And I'm going to be good. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Yeah, I know sometimes y'all, sometimes I go a little deep. Sometimes I be over here like this. And I don't want to feel like I'm somebody's father or I'm preaching to you or anything like that, because ultimately it's your decision. But what I want you to think about is how do I be present in my life and on my journey if I don't know my status? That's a valid question. You good in your status? You good? Because that's what I keep hearing, right? But if you are knowledgeable, if you are understanding, if you know your status, then you can be present, be sexy, and all of that stuff. Now, you can be sexy without knowing your status, because you being sexy is just you being sexy. But I believe that there is a sexy to knowing your status. Remember what I'm talking about? You can roll up in that club, you striding like a Clydesdale, and they probably saying, well, why they striding like that? Like, what they got? I know my status. I'm present in the moment of my life. I'm understanding, right? I know what I'm capable of. I know how to maneuver in this life of mine. There it is. There it is. Now, I'm going to end with this. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you won't. I'm not saying you will. All I'm saying is I'm giving you the information. The CDC said 13 to 64 at least once. Then they also said on that last part of the list, you don't know your sexual partner's history. You don't. And I bet some of you are sitting here saying, oh, wait, I didn't know their history. Because you don't. I mean, it's a thing. It is a thing. Sex is good. Having a moment is good. Getting your ski pop on is good. But know your status. Know your status. That's all I'm saying. Know your status. Because that way you can be informed. That way you know how important. That way you can be present in the moment, handle your business, and do what you do. Know your status. That's for you. Mind, body, spirit. That's for you. Know where you at. Know what's going on. Know how you do it. Okay? Okay. Now look, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here from Titan. 5th grade education, and I'm only holding up 4 fingers. I don't need big words. I don't need supercalifragilistic. I don't need none of that. What I need to tell you straight up and be the unconventional advocate that they call me and tell you, know your status, period, point blank. There's no argument around that. I'm not stigmatizing you. I'm not telling you, you better do it before I beat you, or you better do. No. It's in your hands. But think about where you're at. Think about how you want to be present in the moment. Because what I'm telling you is what I've experienced and what I've seen and what I've heard. And if there is no problem with it, then it wouldn't be a thing. But again, the CDC says you should get tested if you have been with anybody that has done anything on that list that I just stated earlier. And if you do not know your partner's sexual history. That's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the experience for you tonight, baby. Know your status. Know your status. If you are going to maneuver in this world and be present and be open and honest about where you're at and what you're doing, know your status. Know your status. Be sexy in your status. That's just real talk. That's just real talk. I want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you. Y'all made it right. Y'all made it good. Yeah, look at y'all. Look at y'all treating me special like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. Until next time. Oh, just letting you know, y'all know next Monday is a holiday. I won't be in. You won't get the Titan Experience live on next Monday, right? So I just wanted to warn you all about that because it's going to be Indigenous Day. And so y'all know how that goes. Okay. It's be Indigenous Day, right? Yeah. I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. What day we on? What time is it? What's happening? Yeah. So y'all know where we at. Y'all know what's going on. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. I love you. Until next time, peace and blessings.